What is popping, everybody? Bailey Strasser here, Wisco Sports Weekly. We are just... What a thriller of a Packer game that was. That is what exactly you need to do. You know, I wouldn't say it was the most dominant game, but this was one of those wins that just feels good because I think if you know a Bears fan, you can basically say, yeah, we should have won this one. Normally, I normally put in the Bears still suck. I always put it in my intro every time we play the Bears, but not this time. Because, one, this Bears team is actually legit. I will say it. They are a very good team, and this is the first time I can quietly say that they don't suck anymore. I think they are a very good team. And two, we literally play them in 2 weeks. I can't say that, and then next thing you know, we lose 2 weeks later. I don't want to say that. Or yet again, we face them in the postseason. There's a lot to be said. But as of right now, this is just a win that we can enjoy for the moment. The Packers did what they could. I'm not saying it was a perfect game by Love, but he got the job done. My game ball is actually not going to go to Jordan Love. It's actually going to go to Keyshawn Nixon. And the reason why is Keyshawn Nixon had an awful game, but when it mattered, he came up and got the game-sealing interception in the end. That's why he's going to get my game ball today. He came through when it mattered. It wasn't his game, but at the very end, he came through and basically saved the game. A game that just a disaster last play for the Bears. That's what it was. But looking at this game, the Packers looked good in the beginning. You know, they had a great first half. The defense played outstanding. It's just like any other game you saw. Great first half out of the defense. Then the second half came, and because of the comfortable lead that we were in, and they let the Bears slowly come back. Bears go immediately down the field. Touchdown, 2-point conversion. Immediately down the field again. Field goal. Immediately down the field again. We're tied. And then, we ended up going down. We score another touchdown. The Bears go right down the field. And obviously, Ben Johnson he tried to get smart. He went all the way down the field, killed as much clock as he could in hopes that he would basically get the touchdown in hopes that the Packers would not have the ball. I think they were going for 2. I think they were going to actually go for the 2-point conversion. I was actually saying that if I were the Bears, knowing that you'd want to beat the Packers so bad, you'd go for 2 here. I think it's given that the Packers defense was just gassed and tired. That's what it is. Love came through when it mattered, but the defense was not at its best today, and that was the only thing I can say. That 4th down call by the game management, Ben Johnson, I will say that was really overthinking on his part. He should have at least tried to score instead of trying to take as much time off the clock, then come up with a 4th down play where they overthought. Just quarterback sneak it, just run it. Instead, they roll out. DJ Moore was actually open. He probably would have scored a touchdown. Instead, lobs it for the end zone. A bad pass by Caleb Williams, who rarely makes bad decisions, and he gets picked off by Keyshawn Nixon, who did whatever he could today. But again, I give credit where credit is due. But the Packers did their job. Love went 27-25. 234 yards, 3 touchdowns, and there was an unfortunate interception in there in the first half that that was really Love's only mistake the entire game. Josh Jacobs led the way, 20 carries for 86 yards, a touchdown on the ground, which was the go-ahead touchdown, 2 catches for 6 yards. And welcome back Jayden Reed. 2 carries for 22 yards and 4 catches for 31 yards. It's good to have Jayden Reed back. Hopefully he can really contribute in this offense. Manuel Wilson had 3 carries for 10 yards. 4 catches for 89 yards for Christian Watson and 2 of the 3 touchdowns. The other touchdown was a 45-yard bomb to Bo Melton of all people. Super Bowl MVP Bo Melton, as I like to call him. 2 catches for 22 for Musgrave, 1 for 21 for Wiley, 2 for 14 for Fitzpatrick, a catch for 6 for Brooks. Nothing else. Not really much to say on their part. Edgerrin Cooper led the way, 11 total tackles. Quay Walker had 9. Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney had 7. Kingsley Enagbare with the only sack on the day. And, of course, the interception was made by... I'm out of it. I'm so out of it. Keyshawn Nixon. On the Bears side, Caleb Williams went 19 of 35, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, and 4 carries for 15 yards. DeAndre Swift had 13 carries for 63 yards and 2 catches for 19. Kyle Monangai had 14 carries for 57 yards a catch as well. Luther Burden led the way, 4 catches for 67 yards and a carry for 3. Cole Kmet had 2 for 42. Colston Loveland had 4 for 29 and 1 of the touchdowns. Duvernay had a catch for 24 and 2 catches for 7 yards for Olamide Zacchaeus and the other touchdown and a catch for 2 for Durham Smythe. DJ Moore had 1 catch for -4 yards, which was a blown-up play. They only held DJ Moore to that extent, and that's pretty impressive. CJ Gardner-Johnson led the way with 10 total tackles and a pass defended and the interception for Chicago. 7 tackles for Bayard, and the sack was made by Montez Sweat. And Cairo Santos went 2 or 2 from the field goal. So that's the stats for the game. The Packers now move to 4-0 in the division. They are one of 3 teams that still remain undefeated in the division, which is, I guess, a very great thing. I think that's what I think I read. But again, the Packers still have to face the Bears on the road in 2 weeks. 2 weeks they have to face them. And given the Packers do have a very tough schedule to finish the season, I still think it's a tough schedule. You got to go, and throughout 3 of the 4 games are all on the road. I know they've had a lot of home games, but 3 of the 4 games are going to be road games. You first have to face the Denver Broncos, even though I find them extremely overrated, given that they've won 10 straight. Their defense and special teams are fantastic. Their offense is a little bleak, but I feel like they're very similar to what we are, like the Packers. I really feel that about it. But again, Denver is a legit team. They're going to win the division this year. They are a very strong team. Then you got to go face Chicago. It's going to be a game on Saturday night in Chicago. So that's going to be something interesting. And then your final home game is against the Baltimore Ravens. So even though Lamar Jackson was an MVP and the Ravens are starting to kind of fall apart a little bit, this is still a hard game because it is the Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are tough individuals. That's the last home game right after Christmas. And then you finish on the road, probably a game that might be meaningless. I hope will be meaningless. But it is on the road in Minnesota. And Minnesota's season's probably by that point is going to be over. It is going to be a tough. It's going to be tough. Minnesota obviously probably won't make the playoffs. If the playoffs ended today, the Lions wouldn't even make the postseason. The Green Bay Packers winning today puts the Chicago Bears at the 7th seed. If the playoffs ended today, we would be the 2nd seed and we would be hosting the Chicago Bears in the wild card game. Of course, the Rams won, so they do obviously have the bye right now, as Matthew Stafford looks like he's an MVP. But Jordan Love comes through. I feel like Jordan Love could really turn some heads and maybe even be a finalist. I don't think he should get the MVP, but maybe he should be a finalist. It's not a bad idea. The final thing I will say is, I know Denver is a tough team. You're going to go into a big climate. You get that air, and it's a different, you know. When we faced Denver 2 years ago in Denver, it was probably an awful game for the offense entirely. This is a better Denver team than they were. But this is Toyotathon Jordan Love. Jordan Love has looked a lot better in these last couple of weeks. Jordan Love looks more confident. He's feeling it. This is the best we've seen Jordan Love. You know, there are 4 weeks left until the end of the season. I know it's going to be a very hard thing because the Rams and the Seahawks are both, I think both they have the same record. They're both 10-3. So one of those two teams is likely they're duking it out, and San Francisco's only a game behind. Those three teams are pretty much duking it out. Us, the Bears, and the Lions are duking it out for who's the best in our division. It's going to be a really close race. The Packers could low-key get 11 wins again and be a 6 or 7 seed. It could happen again. But again, there is a lot to determine moving forward. And with that being said, I'm very happy the Packers did win today. It feels good to beat Chicago. But especially beating Chicago when they came in as the better team in this game. I know it's a home game, but you're going to be getting, in 2 weeks, you're going to be getting the road atmosphere. What would really hurt is if the Packers just, they need to they don't want to get themselves in trap game situations. Even though this is considered a trap game because you're obviously looking forward to Chicago in 2 weeks, you're facing a tough Denver team. That's why I said it's going to be a brutal schedule down the stretch. But again, I'm not entirely confident on the defense. I hope they don't make Caleb Lowe look like a mastermind again. But it's crazy we literally have to play him in 2 weeks. And crazy enough said, I know that they're going to be all motivated to win that. So, with that being said, all I'm going to say is I'm not going to play the Bears still suck because I think it's a little too early to say all that stuff. Because we literally got to play them in 2 weeks, and we might have to face them in the postseason. I don't know. But again, I will just finish off. If you like what you see, subscribe below, comment your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time. Go Pack.